AviationPros.com is the portal website for AMT, Airport Business, and Ground Support Worldwide magazines. Visit daily for breaking news, industry blogs, and insightful articles from our magazine's editorial team. And don't forget to sign up for our publication's daily e-newsletters. It's all at AviationPros.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Aviation Pros podcast. I'm Joe Petrie, Editor-in-Chief for Airport Business. Industry stalwart Mookie Patel was named Director of Aviation at San Jose Mineta International Airport in March 2024. Coming into the position from a long and varied career in aviation, Patel is charged with running an important cog in the Bay Area aviation system that has a unique challenge of neighboring two other major commercial airports and see flight changes since the end of the pandemic. Patel recently took time to sit down with me and talk about the new position, the future of SJC, and how he sees travel changing in the Bay Area. Mookie, thank you very much for speaking with me today. Really appreciate you taking the time. So you've been on at San Jose for a little over a month now. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got here. You've been around in the industry for a while, and you've got kind of a unique background as far as being able to have seen a lot of different operations. How did you get into the industry?
Yeah, well, a quick correction there. I've been here actually almost 3 months now.
3 months, okay.
It has flown by super fast. San Jose's been kind of a little bit of a cornerstone in my career. Not only the point that I have family that lives out there, and we've been commuting to San Jose for 25 years for various family events and Christmases and holidays. But over my career, 30 years now, almost 31 years being in this industry, the background on me is split almost third. So about 12 years of my career has been spent in airports combined. I've worked this is my fourth municipal run airport: Kansas City, Denver, San Antonio, Austin, and San Jose. About 8 and a few years has been in consulting. I spent time working at AviationPros, working as a consultant in New York and San Francisco back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I spent time in New Orleans as a technology and aviation planning consultant for about 5 years, and then have done a little bit of consulting work on my own in between opportunities. And then 10 years of my career was at Alaska Airlines, and I think that's where I grew up with management skill set and philosophy on how to be a good leader. Was working for the Eskimo up in Seattle and being the airline rep for corporate real estate. So I've had a tremendous career. San Antonio, Austin, and San Jose are, three just the most recent this past decade, and fundamentally taking root in understanding how aviation business works and understanding how the whole ecosystem of capital investment, capital funding, rates and charges, marketing, air service development, and then, of course, the pinnacle of everything is your people, and maintaining and cultivating a good working philosophy and an approachable leadership style have really been kind of the cornerstones of where I'm at today. Mm-hmm.
So now that it's been 3 months, and this is just a sign of how much this year is getting away from us already. I felt it was still only a year. Tell me a little bit about your first impressions at San Jose. What do you find most exciting about this opportunity?
I prefer to lead from behind. And what I mean by that is I love a good underdog story, and that's where we're at today. The community is still solid, million plus residents that live in San Jose, high income wage earners. Silicon Valley is still Silicon Valley. It's still got the strong basis of corporate tech and travel. However, travel has kind of diluted itself with satellite campuses around the country. And so when I say that we're leading from behind, is that we're still quite a bit behind COVID. And in 2019, we saw obviously the largest expansion phase in this country, peaking right before COVID in 2019. We were hitting year after year milestone record numbers, and then COVID changed everything. And while travel trends have shifted, we still are a very solid base, and especially in the South Bay area. And so I'm kind of proud to work with an airport team that is energized by the situation we're in. So we're embracing the challenge. We're looking at our facility infrastructure. We're looking at where we can improve our customer brand promise from a fly simple airport. We were ranked obviously as the best mid-size airport by Wall Street Journal a couple years ago. And we want to keep that promise and keep that those ASQ scores as high as we can. And we think that's what makes San Jose a special airport, especially in a geographic part of the country where we're co-located with some pretty large airports.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell me a little bit about and elaborate a bit into some of the strategies you're looking to put in place or are putting in place right now as the team as far as rebuilding that traffic, the passenger and route traffic out of SJC?
Yeah, so, it's local partnerships. It's building relationships with the Sports Authority, and my team has long-standing relationships with our DMO, our Destination Marketing Organization, Team San Jose, that run all of our convention facilities, our theaters, and are out there marketing every year to convention goers and partnering with GBTA. We're also looking at new relationships with our Chamber of Commerce and rebuilding those foundational relationships after COVID are key. And getting everybody to spend the little dollars that they all have, sort of swimming in the right direction is key. And while we don't, we aren't able to effectively use our money to promote their objectives, we do like to partner on strategic initiatives. And one of them specifically is working with a group called Joint Venture Silicon Valley, a really strong think tank that looks at business trends, home ownership trends, commercial real estate, and that group led by Russell Hancock. We're looking to partner on how we can develop an economic impact study that further helps us promote who we are, where we're at, and why business travel and consumer leisure travel should be focused on the South Bay. So lots and lots of foundational work happening right now amongst my team members. And then hopefully, this is kind of a 3-year kind of a cycle, Joe, to be honest. It's not something you can just roll out and jump into. You have to build these relationships. You have to cultivate even our local university, San Jose State University. We want to be able to cultivate relationships with them and see where we can take our relationships so that we can use students to maybe help write some of these the research papers and understanding where our community is going from a growth trend perspective.
Mm-hmm. And kind of using that information, can you talk a little bit about how you plan to enhance some of the relationships with existing airlines and find ways to attract some of these new carriers to SJC?
Yeah, so one of my principal philosophies coming to San Jose was, we've always been known as a business travelers market, a business traveler market. And what I'm trying to do is demystify the cost of travel to the residents that live in the South Bay and further south into Morgan Hill, Gilroy, and the communities beyond, is that we do have ultra low cost carriers. We have Spirit, we have Volaris, we have Zip Air to Tokyo, and then coming soon is a robust schedule provided by Frontier Airlines. And so making travel available to a good portion of our population. It goes without saying we do have a vulnerable population in the South Bay, and we want to make sure that we're cultivating relationships with those communities and providing travel for them too. So we have had some great wins since I've started in the last 90 days, and we're constantly meeting with our corporate partners. Now, obviously, the big elephant in the room is aircraft deliveries and available seat miles over the next 2 years, with manufacturer challenges. But that's a different podcast for a different day.
Absolutely, that is very for sure. And of course, there's a lot of different challenges out there with as far as attracting air service and the airline industry as a whole. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the big challenges you see for the airport itself that need to be addressed outside of carriers?
Yeah, so focusing on infrastructure is really key. There's a lot of airports that are in a fast expansion phase right now, meaning that they have the traffic trends and the growth trends according to the FAA's TAF forecast. If they're growing faster, there's a lot of communities coming out of COVID, Boise, Ogden, Provo, Utah, Austin, Raleigh, Nashville, that have seen a lot of in-migration, and then as a result, a lot of blended travel, leisure, business travel. And so that they're on, skyrocketing growth and heavy investment. I think we are embracing our situation, like I said earlier, at a 12 million passenger airport. What we're looking at our infrastructure is looking introspectively. Concourse C, which is, well over $1 billion, is probably not in the cards right now. So rather than investing in that infrastructure or something new, we're going to go back and reassess central utility plants, boiler chiller lines, bag system improvements, and customer experience, seating, lighting, hold rooms, bathrooms, all of the things that keep your ASQ scores and our passengers wanting to use our airport is where we're going to focus. And then we've got a transformation process going on with our concessions. So we've got a lot of food and beverage restaurants under construction now, which will provide a customer improved level of service for our customers. And then a whole retail RFP that should be going live here this fall that will introduce better quality sundries, travel essentials to our traveling passengers, and calculating where those need to be and how they capture a broader capture rate of our passengers. So we've kind of refined how and where those square footages are going to reside in our infrastructure. But our newest Terminal B, was built almost 14 years ago. And while she still looks pretty, when you take a closer look, she needs a little bit of Botox. So that's where we're focusing. And Concourse A, being the oldest of the two terminals, definitely needs a little bit more attention and some vigorous kind of reassessment of the infrastructure there. And all of that, over this next 10 to 12 month period, we'll be defining where we need to go, what our priorities are, what we can afford, and how we can get our airlines to buy into the fact that every airport has a different flavor at a different every airport has a different story to be told at the time that they're in. And ours is just a different story right now. And I'm embracing it, and we're going to move forward with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's a lot of different challenges to take on, and it's always interesting to see it when you get a chance to pinpoint on specific areas. Can you tell me a little bit about how the airport and the leadership is looking at, targeting these? I mean, as far as community engagement, are you going through, travelers and using their best opinions, or how are you guys looking at this?
Yeah, we do ASQ scores. We do the passenger surveys, but I have a very small but mighty marketing, communications, and outreach team. So we do partner with a lot of sporting agencies and organizations through the South Bay. We participate in all kinds of festivals, and we do a lot of outreach. We're celebrating our 75th anniversary right now, and the story with the baby chick has just it's off the chain. The response rate, the partnership rate, the social media interaction that Scott and his team on our small marketing team have gotten is just insane. So, our very first passenger flight had 2,550 baby chickens that got off, but the passengers didn't. They flew on to LA. And so we've embraced our baby chick as our mascot this year, and we're doing quite well. I think brand recognition is something that when we look at the intercept surveys and the team shares with me what our interaction rate is on social media, with our website, with our engagement on Twitter and Thread and TikTok and Facebook and you name it, it's very high, and so we're very proud of that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a very interesting aspect of it too, because especially being in the Bay Area, of course, you got Oakland and you got SFO that are in the neighborhood as well, that are, competing with as for traffic, and the same could be that. How are you working to define San Jose in its unique position in serving that market?
Yeah, so we have the benefit of a very linear, long concourse, and part of it is the geographic space that we're in, the runway configuration with facility constraints of where you can place your terminal complex, and then we have the Guadalupe River and a highway that kind of restrict why our terminal is so elongated and narrow. But with that comes the opportunity to market that it is a very short walk from your curbside to your gate, and it's a very simple, easy to use airport. And I think we take that as a foundational bit of pride for us, that it's not confusing, that you're not circling roadways to get to a terminal. You don't get lost in our roadway system. We are doing things and looking at opportunities for signage and wayfinding and improving, and constantly kind of keeping those up at the top of our pyramid of things that we're looking at, of ways to improve. But I think we're in a good position, and the local residents know it. They love their local airport. We get a lot of good local brand recognition. What we're challenged with always is the vacuum of San Francisco, right, and SFO, and being a mega hub for a pretty large airline. The convenience of getting to pretty much anywhere you need to get to around the world is SFO, and so we're constantly battling that. But that's something that I just can't fight it. So we live within the confines of who we are, and express ourselves as strong as we can.
Mm-hmm. And of course, it's always great to have that easy terminal to get around. Personally, that's usually my fan of an airport as well. Tell me a little bit about technology and how that's been transforming the terminal experience for passengers and just airport operations in general. What does the future look like, especially in a Silicon Valley airport, for technology in the terminal, and some of the goals that the team's looking to implement over the coming years?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I really want to look at. It's coming from Austin, and going through sort of the forming, norming stages of a large development program. You do have the opportunity to think very broadly of how you want new facilities to look. Now, it's a little different in San Jose. We get to transform ourselves within the footprint that we have, but clearly, human-centric design is all about how do you get in the mind of a traveling passenger when they get to the airport, how they use your facilities. We were just talking about this yesterday. The utilization of a website is a website really a tool to sell and create, omni-channel or channel distribution of information where you're booking hotels and you're booking airfare? Or are you there using it as a marketing tool to remind passengers of the conveniences and the wherewithals of how to transfer themselves through your facility. Or what we want to do, open APIs are really critical, where airlines love to have information about what your TSA wait times might be, and sharing that with airlines on their platforms. And then flight information from airline platforms can be transferred to airport FID systems. We are looking at ways to transform the digital plan that we have for wayfinding in our airport. I think there's some airports that have done some really fantastic things, like Spokane and Orlando, where they've gone full digital back walls, full digital and creative wayfinding signs that are easy to read, that are well lit, and that reduce the stress of the passenger. And when you can reduce the stress of a passenger, that's what I mean by human-centric design. You get them to spend a little bit more in your airport. You get them to relax. They come a little earlier. If you provide better seating and better nooks and areas where customers can feel comfortable, then they do come a little earlier to your airport. And dwell time is really, really critical for us to generate non-airline revenue, parking revenues, concession revenues. And so that's kind of, technology is going to be blended into that. I think it's a master plan that we will kick off here soon, but 90 days in, these are just some early thoughts of where I want to take the team.
Mm-hmm. And I know this is a big question I'm about to ask 98 days in, but I have to ask it because you've had a chance to be feet on the ground in some early days on this. What do you see as a vision for this airport and what it can be over the next decade?
We want to take stress out of travel. It is stressful, but when you can have loyalty from a customer, if I'm probably taking the question in a different direction than you thought I'd take it, but I strongly believe that having loyalty of customers, irrespective of being able to drive another 45 minutes up the road, we want to capture the audience that resides in our community. And we do that by bringing a local flair into the airport. Some airports are built and designed to look like hospital wards, and you have no clue where you are when you land. And I think one of the things our marketing team has taken to heart with our anniversary and our opportunity to express our brand inside of the building is to take that up 2 or 3 levels and bring an experience to our customers that makes them feel like this is their home and this is their airport, and they have no stresses about it. And we have communicated well with strong wayfinding, with digital mapping, with flight information, with great concessions, with great customer experience. And they don't have to think when they're booking flights about the other 2 airports that are in my geographical area. Mm-hmm. That's where I see myself in 10 years.
All right. Well, that's definitely a novel, or that's definitely a grand vision to have looking forward into it. So that leads me into my last set of 3 questions I have for you that I like to always ask every airport director, just to give a chance to talk a little bit about your team and really your facility as it is, especially to now that you've had a chance to look at this with fresh eyes 90 days into the job. Tell me, having worked with them for 90 days, what makes the team at San Jose the best in the industry?
They're very creative. The word creativity comes from a youthful organization. I'm building a team. The average age, I don't know it, but it's got to be in the 30s. They're a very young team, but they're very energetic. They ask a lot of questions. They're creative. They don't. My goal is to never say no, but let people get their thoughts out on paper or just out vocally, because you never know what novel concept, idea, innovation, development that can come from communication. So that's something that I want to cultivate is a lot of thoughtful communication and having relationships with my team members that isn't rooted in just stodgy, old school leadership experience, right? We want to cultivate new ideas. We want to cultivate fresh, as we are learning, Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, they're the next generation. What are we doing as an airport to make sure that we're cultivating brand loyalty and expressing ourselves to that younger crowd that are the next generation of travelers?
Why should the industry be bullish about the future of San Jose?
The industry should be bullish about the future of San Jose because it's well rooted in Silicon Valley with a strong structural venture capital focused mindset. I think a lot of young talent that are here, be it talent that has come in on H-1B visas or their families have come in from international destinations. 40% of our residents are foreign-born residents. So it brings diversity. It brings a melting pot of ideas, and don't count us out. I think we're gonna transform this technology age rooted in San Jose.
And my last question for you: what will success look like for you over the next 5 years?
Balanced investment. So partnerships with our carriers, understanding that without the airlines, without them paying a good proportionate share of our infrastructure, we can't be what we want to be. But on the flip side, making San Jose financially stronger, looking at all of our non-airline revenue opportunities, growing concessions, growing parking, looking at our fair share of revenues that are leaking out of our airport, and basically stabilizing the balance sheet. I think, having a good, strong, fiscally strong airport allows you to be creative and take risks. And so that foundation is really, really important to me. And if I leave the airport in a better way, a better shape, then it really is strong infrastructure investment that is done financially prudently.
Perfect. Mookie, well, it was a pleasure speaking with you today. Congratulations again on the role, and looking forward to hearing a lot more success out of San Jose over the next couple of years.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for your time.
Wonderful. Well, take care, and safe travels back to California.
Scott, was there anything else you wanted to add for Joe?
No, just if you have any follow-up questions or anything else from us, just let us know.
Absolutely. I will let you know. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. You both have a wonderful weekend.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again for listening to today's podcast. To hear more from the most innovative leaders in the industry, make sure to subscribe to the Aviation Pros podcast and check out our website, AviationPros.com. I'm Joe Petrie. We'll catch you next time.